Okay, rechecking audio. Sorry to jump off there. My UPS was starting to pop like it was going on and off. So I figured I better end the stream briefly and get that sorted out. So my router's back up and running. Sorry for the interruption. Let's give everybody a minute or two to come back in. I don't know why my UPS is popping. Sorry for the interruption. That was a little bit abrupt, but when my UPS starts popping, usually it means I've got a fault somewhere in my system. I just power cycled in and came back up. So, back to code generation, I guess. VVproj needs some of the high level and common file output type things. And then it will hand off additional file writing to the tokenizer and the parser definitions as needed. So let's get that basic stuff done. I need to have some common file writing options here. I want to be able to write out an entire file in one chunk. Let me think about this. Let's just make up a real quick file writer. cstdio, good enough. Star file. Int m_depth. Is there anything else I need? Okay. By default, underscore file, null, underscore depth is 0. Let's charge our file name. Let's see here. File equals new, f open, file name, write text mode. So what we ask is bool can write Return image to file not equal to null. Underscore file not equal to null. Close underscore file. I think that's about it, actually. As far as those go. Now we'll be able to hand this file writer around, but we need some standard argument stuff. Standard arg. Have my preferred site here. So a lot of times when I'm looking up C++ documentation, I'm going someplace like this. It's cplus.com. I like their documentation. Seems pretty clean, straightforward. One thing we want is, just like before, push format hop. We also want void pop. And lastly, void pop format . Down here, we want a helper function called write. Oops. Const char star format. There we go. And then it's a VA list args. Which wraps this functionality up so that we can write structured code files without wasting our time doing a lot of bookkeeping. We're going to wrap that up. File editor. Okay. Because we are going to write code which writes code. It gets a little bit brain twisty, so anytime we can remove some of the cognitive load, the better. And I have code to do exactly this kind of thing in log. Which I've made somewhat unreadable. But we can simplify this easy enough. So these ones like format and args. That's basically that. Fprint f index equals 0, index less than depth. Let's index. Whereupon underscore depth gets incremented. When we push, we say we want to write where we are in our depth, and then increment our depth. So maybe we write another little helper function so we don't have to keep writing that. Void prefix white space. Which is just this. It's not complicated. Top doesn't modify depth, and it does everything else the same. This one does, but it does it for less than 0. And we're going to do two things. We're going to log error file writer top depth now below 0 mismatched from a push. And then we just set it to 0. When we do our destructor, if underscore depth is not equal to 0, we need a similar log message. Destructor depth of 0 mismatched pushes mismatched from a pop. Each push should match a pop. Break anything, but it is a good sanity check. Okay, then pop is even easier. Back to write. One last thing I want to write here. Blank. I want a couple of convenience functions here. I want open, I want close. Because these are going to happen a lot. That pop, add some convenience functions. Print f m_file. No prefix, just a blank line. Open bracket though, we're going to push a brace and pop a brace. We could make some programming conveniences. Oh, wait. This right line. We may want another right eventually. Do basically this. Right line and then a new line character. Because I will always lose track of new line characters. So anytime I want to do a print that is not all in one line, then I'll address that issue. This, maybe we do this a little differently. File writer. No, let's leave them there for now. Is that what I want to do? Because we can do a lot of other things, like no, let's not do that. Okay. Let's see here. C's plus style. I don't care about C plus style guides. We're just gonna write stuff. Yeah, okay. The VB project needs file writer. We need a location to put a thing. We need to know where our destination is. We have a name. Coding. Name. Just name. Okay. Main process args. Project file flag specified. So what we need now is an output directory. directory where to output results. Yes. O or out. Outer path. Outer path. There, easy peasy. Except I copied the code in the wrong place. So now we can get an arg that does that. Project at parse. If outer path not null. We're going to do things. One thing we want to do is test if the directory exists. Does the directory exist? Let's skip that for now. We do test outer path exists. Yeah. Let's not bog down into the detail here. Then we want proj.write to our directory path. Put this inside here, proj. Okay. They probably should do it here. This can be const even. Not changing any state with this. We're just outputting everything. Okay. So we need const char star header file name. HTTP file names. HTTP file name. We want int dir_len equals dir_len of dir. String, that's fine. If dir of dir_len minus 1 is equal to a / dir_len minus minus. So people tend to provide directories in one of two ways. It might be like relative path. Maybe it's home / which means relative to our current location, or / doesn't matter. Home / other, and maybe they end it with a /, meaning this is a directory, or they might not put it /. So we're just going to check for that and make sure that we always treat it as if there is no / at the end. Okay. And then proj name_len equals dir_len m_name. That was it. Equals smoochar thing of dir_len plus proj name_len plus 1 for the / we are going to add. Even if there was already one in there, we are going to put one in there. Fact. As separator equals that. Let's just do it that way. Equals. We need the directory, we need the project name, we need to add VV. Let's see here. VVPARSER is 8. VVPAR. Let's just write it down. Our format will be VV thing parser.http and CPP, and then some directory structure, home / other / whatever. So this is that length. And we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 more characters. Int file name len. Let's just do this. Directory length, whatever that is. Let's pretend for now there's no / 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. not has separator. File name length plus 1. Make room for a new separator. Plus 1 for the empty character. File name length. If it has a separator, it's something else. We're just setting up the groundwork for outputting our file here. S printf. We want thing VB parser dot HPP given dir name. That's it. So this is HPP file name. Same thing for the CPP file. Except it ends in CPP. This one is exactly the same, except could simplify, but I don't know if it's you know what? Let's put it here. So you throw that in the directory. Separator, nothing. Otherwise, put it in a separator. Okay, so we now have file names. Down at the bottom of all this, we will have to delete those file names. Delete CPP file. Working here. Okay. Might as well log it. Writing to HTTP file name CPP. Have to start getting started. Oops, our put in our file writer. File with file writer 2, 3, 4. That will help one thing. Project. You are absolutely correct. So you're not being confused. Next, file writer. Did I not include that? Include C standard R. I think that's right. Oh, I should pull up my own log file. Right, it's not declared. That's because it was called right line. So in that case, I agree with you. file handle. That's because we called it file here. Oh, so picky about your semicolons. Okay, so we do this, nothing happens. Say dot dash out build slash desktop. Writing to somewhere. VV test parser. And if you put the hyphen at the end, it still does the same. Great. Cool. So I think we call that a good pausing point. Yes, there else here. Yeah, we don't need to save our work here. There's nothing interesting going in. Check. Okay, I want a helper function. Right. File. Header. File writer, HTTP writer, given HTTP file name, CPP writer, CPP file name. File writer, writer. File header, HTTP writer, CPP writer. Okay, writer, point to write some text. I guess so. 120 forward slashes. Is that too obnoxious? We're going to aim for everything to hit 120 wide only. This file was generated by Billy and they should not be hand modified. Do not modify by hand. Is there anything else we need in here, really? Oh, okay. Here's the Okay, I've already got one thing I want to do here. In file writer, right. This one does not regard any structure whatsoever. BF print F. Oh yeah. VF print F underscore file format args. Okay. VV project. Okay. Let's call it something slightly different. Right top of file. Oh, this is. Okay, let's just call it right header then. Okay. Then we want two functions called void right HPP and CPP. There's going to be some differences here. Let's do it here. It goes at the end. There we go. To do date time. B&D version. We can write more stuff in here that would be helpful. Okay. First thing in an HPP file we need to do it's our pound include, well, it's our pound deaths, right? Just like we do. Here. There we go. So pound if and def something underscore HTTP underscore. For now, we're just going to take name, but we will make some changes to that. In fact, let's do that now. Star upper name equals new char of underscore name +1 third copy into upper name the name. And then there's a C function for char to upper case to upper, which is in C type. Yes. Is that true? C to upper. I want tutorials. I want my C++ reference. Thank you. Oops. To upper is indeed defined in C type. So C character type. That's what we needed. Char star iterator equals upper name. Contents of iterator not equal to the end of string plus plus iterator. Contents of I equals to upper the contents of I. Upper name. There we go. If and def thing, then we pound define that thing. And if okay, so that's header. What else we need goes like this. Oh, well, here, this thing. Writer, right. Include. Oh, I kind of need that CPP file name without all the junk for the include. I need this thing. Oh. Okay, we can do this. Char star, class name. Char project name length plus 12 plus 1 for the end of string character. Then let's print f class name this. Means then this just becomes modulus s. Modulus s. Less chances of error if we just use that. Then CPP writer, or the right CPP function. Const char star class name. Actually, pass it to both. Yes, we need that in both locations. Because upper name, class name, there we go. Here, both files kind of do a similar pattern. Point 2, right, namespace, modulus s. We want to stuff everything into a namespace so we don't accidentally get namespace collision. When we have, like, especially if you have multiple projects, VB projects in your project, that gets hard to say. So if you have like a config file parser and you have a JSON file parser plus some custom programming language parser, like these namespaces would all collide. Every time we talk about some character reference, it would not know which one to resolve to. So we're going to stuff everything inside of a namespace. Close bracket. This is, let's throw a blank in there. Blank. Goes in here. Okay. Let's see how we did. Should be outputting something, hopefully useful. We'll output it to here, present location. I like that writing 2 still being in there. I can. Okay. Each push should match a pop. I agree. So where did I push? Where did I pop? Push is not here. Pop is not here. It's log. Care about those. How on earth? Start at 0. As long as we don't change it. Which only push and pop does. Oh, because of close bracket. That's fine. Okay. Okay, so we should be able to see now VB test parser. That is wrong. Okay. Right line. Okay. which means in the project, all these places where we write, we actually want to write line. I will add the other write back in if we ever determine we need it. For now, don't think we do. We'll add it when we need it, it's fine. Moving this one down. I want it below my line of sight most of the time. Those long lines aren't beautiful. Okay.
Hello.
How is that one?
Yuri.
The dot 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 is not the same thing as a VA list args. Why is it? Virtual write line. Yes, we'll do it that way. Virtual write line. Hey, that looks better. I want another blank line between the namespace and the pound defines, but otherwise that looks pretty good. And again, one space after that pound include. The namespace is not yet, but we will get there. VB project. Okay, so I want writer link. And where we namespace, we need to give it the class name. Hey, there we go.
No.
Beautiful. Okay, one thing we want to do on the regular is test that what we're generating still compiles. So that's the next. That's the thing we want to do. So we need to make a test.cpp. What do I do? Include a log file. We need pound include VB test parser. C char star star RP. Hello world. Okay. Okay, let's kill this. Kill this. Let's kill that. And we're gonna move test.cpp source. We're gonna move VB test into source,
I'm gonna cut it back though.
and then that one. Okay. I just want to set up a little test case. So make file. Objects. VB test parser. Oops, found two. For testing output only, not part of main build. Test main test.cpp. I want log.o. I want VB test parser.o. And basically this, except instead of these objects, we put these two and this one. Which actually is the same thing as $. Hat. $hat basically means everything that's on this side of the column here. This will not be output.exe. This will be VB test parser. We need this to do one more thing. We need it to run that command we were doing above. This command. Except run the source. There, builds debug. Debug those files. And run that. There, here. Let's see what that does. File test. Oh, vtalk is not in the right place. Easy. mv test.vtalk. Okay, fine. Test.vvp in the source. Test.vtalk in the source. Now we're just running on local bird. You know what we could do though? Okay. Which we probably should have done. Source test.vvp. vtalk. Source ce dot and then run that. Of course, I didn't re-output those. Oh, outputter is set here. Builds slash debug. Countertype run output dir with build slash debug. 2, 3. And I'm very clever. Spell. Okay, anything else? There. Send CD back into source. PWD and what's it trying to do here? PWD, we are in source. Builds debug, Victor dash P. Source. Oh, okay. Not quite. Cannot find debug. Builds debug. It's right there. You know what? You don't have to make the directory. Is this made by this make rule? Frankly, this is not a thing like that. Might just be simpler. Okay, super close. This is where I'm at. Why can I not find debug? Oh. Debug is a make rule. Okay, fine. Just do this. PWD ls-al. Missing separator stop. Right, 8-point space-based languages. We're in source. Where is builds? It's right there. Oh. Dash O. There we go. There we go. Now we have a test case running. It's got some warts, but good enough. VB test parser. Passage source. Builds. Debug. VB test parser. Hello world. Okay, so what we've generated so far is an empty namespace. Count includes, and we can compile the object, link it in with the main file, and it does nothing, of course, but the main file has a hello world. So I think we're going to call that our first win based on what's in our journal here. I'll put header implementation files with a namespace. Oops. Project now outputs header and a implementation file with includes and defines and namespaces. They compile and link. Created file writer class to help wrangle files and structured text. But wrangle files and structured text output. Added some test pieces to make file for convenience. Okay, that seems like a good place to get an easy win. So we created file writer. This file I would like to ignore, question mark, because this is generated text. As well. I do want to ignore it. Ignore source VB test. Source VB test parser. This is generating file. It doesn't count towards my line counts. Commit-m. Initial file output is done. namespace only, no functionality yet. Not bad, not bad. Okay. Yako Kurdo, hey man, what happened to the game? We worked the game Monday through Thursday. Friday is compiler's day. So we are making from scratch with no libraries other than standard libraries a compiler, but we're starting with the Tokenizer Generator. So if you want to talk compilers, that's what I'm working on today. If you want to talk game, I am happy to answer any questions. Just throw them in the chat, but that's not what I'm actively pursuing today. I'm happy to pull up code and discuss things if you are interested. So just let me know. I am very flexible at this point. I don't have such a high volume of chats that I get derailed too easily. Compiler, do you make a programming language too? Yes, eventually, but we're starting with the Tokenizer Generator. Yeah, my own language. It'll be a toy language, not anything serious. Just a thing for me to play with and experiment with. May not even ever go public. Anywhere anybody can use it. We'll see. 2 a.m. Iraqi Kurdistan. Oh my goodness, 2 a.m. So it must be time for bed. Really frustrated with WX widgets. Yeah, that's come up in the chat before. I've not used WX widgets. My experience has been with Qt, which has its own problems, but I think it's probably superior to WX widgets considering what I've seen. Where Qt really shines is the documentation is really good and the API is very consistent. If a thing works one way for one class, 99% of the time it's going to work the same in other classes. Qt is free if you're writing open source software, which you may not be. I don't know. I have used it for personal projects because I'm never going to sell those. I've used it for like internal use tools at work. Like this is nothing we would sell, but it's a productivity booster for our own people. I would use Qt for that. Only the last couple of years did I buy myself a Qt license for another business I'm running. So you're right. If you're going to make proprietary software, Qt is not free. Yep, Yak and Bison and LLVM. You've got it. So actually, even beyond that. Okay, so I guess I throw out my standard disclaimer here. We are writing a tokenizer generator like Yak or Flex because we want to, not because it's necessarily the right thing to do. Writing a tokenizer from hand is not rocket science. It's a for loop. You iterate over the characters of a string, and depending on what character you see next, you move to a different processing function or state, if you want to think of it as a state machine. It's really not hard. And then you just keep munching up characters until you run out of things you can munch in that state. Then you call that your token, and it's not hard. We are doing it because I feel like playing with NFAs, DFAs, and writing a disgusting state machine based C++ output. Not because it's the right thing to do, because it's entertaining and I like this kind of problem. I do have a couple of unique-ish ideas about things that we can do in the tokenizer, but we haven't got to those points yet. For a parser generator, which we will do also, it's also unnecessary. You can write a recursive descent parser and it'll work just fine. I've heard, and I haven't thoroughly studied, but a Pratt parser seems to be a nicer variation on the recursive descent. So you can hand jam your own parsers, you can hand jam your own tokenizers. This isn't rocket science. We're only building them because we feel like it. I have no new interesting ideas about the parser generator we're going to write. Eventually, it's just going to be a standard LALR parser generator, and it won't be required. Like, you'll be able to specify a tokenizer and munch those tokens yourself and into your own parser, but we will provide a parser just for fun. I wanted to make a programming language in Kurdish. My research supervisor did not allow it since my major was English. Actually, then, in that case, we are working on exactly the project you need for your tokenizer. Because we will, well, I make claims. Hold on. Kurdish. I better know a little bit about Kurdish language before I speak out about the language. Okay. Is Kurdish left to right or right to left? Anyway, the point is, we can support non-English characters from our regex just fine with no weirdness and proper UTF-8 support. So let me just see if I can cook up a small example. If I go to test, oh dear, I think I've closed all the test files. Okay, it's here. So I have to go dig up some characters. Here we go. This is something we're going to support. Let me find some correct characters. UTF-8. Oh wait, I have a resource linked somewhere, I think. This one. So let me find a couple of characters here. Wait for it to load. I only speak English and Spanish, so I'm afraid I'm a little bit... I don't have good support for other alphabets. Personally, like my own personal experience. Is this not loading? There's Greek letters. Where's my Russian letters? It's around D-O. Something D-O. C something D-O. Oh, too far. There's Greek. Here's Russian. Okay. So we can go from... We will keep a token which goes from A through Ya. A through Ya. Or Russian lowercase a through lowercase ya. So we have support out the gate for UTF's character support, including alphabets, and we will verify as we tokenize. As we tokenize, we will verify every UTF-8 character within reason. We're not doing all the range checking, but we'll check the bits. You know some Russian and Ukrainian? Well, привет. Как дела? I don't speak Russian. I know a few words and phrases. We had a guy in the chat yesterday from Russia. That was kind of fun. But yeah, I speak English and Spanish. Russian is my next language, or Irish. Those are my two I want to learn. So yeah, this project is perfect for you. When I finish making my tokenizer and put it for sale, I'll let you know. Here's another thing it supports. This \s is white space. Every tokenizer I've ever seen just absolutely hates non-breaking spaces. But we support them So let's see here. Here, space, tab, and then I'm using \S to represent a non-breaking space, which is a 2-byte character. So yeah, we have support out the gate for UTF-8. Okay, I'm listening for ideas. I'm always open to ideas. Let's hear it. Um, yeah, so you type it up, let me know. Also, I have, for those who are interested, oops, there we go. Keep switching windows. I do have a Discord channel. You can feel free to join the old server. You can chat programming and ideas and questions there as well. We're on chat, so throw your idea into chat if you feel like. But I also have a Discord channel. Okay, so we're going to output TextBuffer. This is a TextBuffer is a, let's see how to say it. TextBuffer is a utility class that requires no customization, so we can write it out straight up as is. I think that is a true statement. So it's just a straight text dump. So if we look at our text buffer, we have this stuff, and there is nothing we need to do to modify this. This is it. This is all the code we need. So my thought is we will just dump this. Do I want to expose the text buffer to the user? I do not think so. This will only be written to the CPP file. Since it's static. This is easy. Okay. What if there's a programming language that knows what you mean by typing a universal character? In Kurdish, there is word pronounced as hin. This word can mean everything. For example, your dad tells you to wash the car after 30 minutes. Tells you, did you wash the hin? In that sentence, the word hin means car, but since you and your dad have talked about the car, the word hin gets the meaning of car. Yes, it is. So what this is, what you're talking about, it's called the, why can't I think of it? Let me look it up and throw down a wiki link here. Boom, found it. Noam Chomsky. He is a brilliant linguist and an idiot politician. But here's the point. You have inside your classes of how languages work, you have your regular languages. So this is actually your NFA, DFA type things. Then you have context free, which is exactly where computer programs live. You have to tell me the context for absolutely everything. You can't use the word it or hin to reference something you have to tell me what everything is. That's context free. In the real world, we live outside of that. We live inside of a context sensitive world, exactly like what you're talking about. Exactly like that. Yep. So, what you're talking about is very, very difficult problem. I don't know if there is any. Well, even in modern language, like we have to be, we can be super unspecific, right? So when we use it, we can actually use the word it within the same sentence to mean multiple different things. So yeah, teaching a computer to deal with that is very tricky. I don't know if there what I don't know of any modern research for context-free grammars. Context-free grammar programming languages. I mean, nobody has made a mainstream one. I don't think anyone has. I don't think anyone successfully made a usable context-free grammar language. Yep. No, that is a cool problem. If you solve that, you would make millions of dollars easily. Super easy. I don't want to clutter up the project with a bunch of junk, but it is going to get very full if we write more stuff here. So I think what I want to do is I want to write some more helper functions. Void write TextBuffer. I don't know that we need this class name thing yet. TextBuffer, we need a char reference. And a string reference. I know those three are needed. Let's go to char 2. And these can all be hidden, all three of these, from the user. So I'm going to make another file called BB project. Writing. Because this is just going to be full of text. These are going to be fairly static things. So I'm just going to break this into two things. Which means we have to change our make file. We have BB project writing. One. Nope. Yes. Yes. There we go. Okay, so BB project writing is going to work now, and therefore we go to BB project. Writer, like to write. TextBuffer. Charlie F. String F. Now we can keep a lot of our big blocks of text out here, out of this file. So when we write our CPP, we write our namespace. Then we're going to write these three. This is the common code section, basically. Oh, I knew that was going to happen, and I forgot to do that. Might as well run a bulk clean, right? Oh, yeah, right. Line. This is good. Test each of This was just building not too long ago. What happened? What happened? Project file, test VB project. Writing two, G++. Whatever. Things. Cannot find VB test parser.o. Oh, okay. Nice. Does that work? Okay, so that compiled and did not fail. So in source VB test parser.h, everything looks the same. VB test parser.c, pp. It's not in there. I thought those new lines would show up. Why did they not show up? Where are we at? 36. We've still got time. I feel like Mr. Incredible sometimes. We're just trying to save everybody right before his wedding. I've got time. Let's see. Did I not? Say to do these things. VB project writing. That should work. We're going to generate a lot of code, though. A lot of code. because we're going to test all kinds of combinations of ways to do things. So this character reference, string reference, are actually going to deal with different character classes. This thing is going to have multiple write and read file read options. But let me think. Why is that not being called? Writing text buffer. Writing ref. Writing str ref. Okay. Am I still writing? I am still writing things here. Unbelievable. BB test parser page. Shell. Source. Okay, there are no more. Just make file. Go up to this. -O into the source. Now I see data source. Right. File. Okay, fine. We'll just build it here. It doesn't have to be a good. Now we're in the same directory. There we go. Now, VB source, VB test parser.cpp is there. In this directory, there is none of those. Wonderful. Okay. Phew, we're getting there. Therefore, VB project writing. We're going to write a bunch of stuff. Let's go to TextBuffer.h, and we're just going to steal it. F3, I want to take every line and do that to it. And if I hit a string like this one, log is not going to happen. Which means we're actually breaking a bunch of stuff, but that's okay. writer point to write except need all these to end in new lines for us. We're gonna write it all as a single string. That's it. Except, of course, that's not it. It's close to it. TextBuffer, CPP. We're actually going to implement every single function here. One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Ren. New line for ren. Just like that. This one is easy. It's literally just that. So we can have that implemented. Read file, copy text, reference text. These three getters should be easy. Void clear. Start with clear. Okay. Oops. Yeah. Okay. Constructor. Let's do it this way. I feel better about this when I'm in the header. People don't look for initializer lists in header files, or at least I don't. This does nothing. Clear. Label. Okay, so there's clear. We still have all of those things okay. Alright, size. That's an easy one. Turn size. Contents, similar song and dance. And label. Basically what you labeled your chunk of code as. I don't have to line everything up, but I prefer it. For these little ones, let me move these up here near this. TextBuffer does that. Okay. We have 3 functions left to do, which are reference text, where are we at? Almost 5 o'clock. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So those blank lines are getting stupid. What's we got here? Okay. Link line, line, line. Okay. We're getting there. 2 more functions. 2 more functions. Copy. So let's grab this after copy text. Similar thing here. So, copy text. Oops. Not too bad. Okay, copy text. And lastly, read file, which is actually the part that we're generating 3 times more of than we should. Will therefore take me a little bit longer to walk through. Am I using any string literals in here at all? In this code? Only the log statements. Which I can't use anyways. Yeah. This is it. Let's re-record this and make it a little better. No, let's just use it. Oops. Okay, log.warns are all going to be problems. Okay, this stuff is all going to get pulled out into the header class. Oh, interesting. Okay. I have two chunks of headers we're going to include. One is from the publicly visible part, one is from not publicly visible part. This file handling is not needed in the general outward facing interface. So I need to do something with this elsewhere. We'll come back to that. Okay, tell me write the class, etc., etc. I know we don't have a logger, so I think we will take it for a little while here. This will not compile. Hope I'm getting these right. Okay. Oops. Just okay. Text reference text, you know that matters. Great, perfect. All right. Okay, last thing. Replace that with this. Okay. Let's see how that goes. Right, with a new line character at the end. See how that looks. Error. not written out. Okay. Maybe we run it from the command line. Source builds debug. S.evp -o in source. Oh, we're getting an issue. Major issues. It's 5 o'clock. Corrupted stack. What if we don't write a single long string in one whack? That would make me sad. I would at least understand it. Of course, that exited normally. The test parser. Everything as I would expect. Write a line of this huge string. Except I don't think the string is that huge. Why would that blow up my stack? Snake fault. Corrupted frame. How is a string literal completely statically defined at maybe it's all the string escapes. Maybe I messed one up. Okay. Error. Could not find file. Error. Open file. Number of bytes read mismatch. That should be an error. Pick up this file. So, if the problem is the ginormous huge string, this will not make a difference. If the problem was escaped string quotes being a problem, not being escaped enough times, this will fix it. Selected number of bytes read. File. File. See which way we go here. What? Oh, good heavens. File debug. And that worked. So it was escaping strings. Somewhere in there I made a mistake, probably. Test parser.cmp. And there is my text buffer. Let's look okay. Anything I want to change? This line doesn't help much. Semicolon doesn't align. Then when it comes to read file, oh, these pound if defs should be all in the wall. Yep. Okay. Quote space 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 hash replaced with quote hash. Okay, what else? This all looks okay. Yep, nothing's weird. We now have. Oops. So copy text and reference text. Run it again, maybe test parser, reload, don't save. Okay, that looks fine. Oh. Oh, I see. I see. So could not close file needs something like a semicolon or braces around it. That was fine. That was fine. Yeah, just the could not close file. Could not close file. Okay. Maybe. That's the answer. Okay. So running a realignment here now does nothing, does not modify the file. It's fine. No indentation updates there. We're in clear. Private. Whoa, 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 whoa. Does it really want to indent the whole thing? It does. I hate it. Therefore, I will not do it. You can't make me. Object right. A baby project. We need right CP includes, because those are going to be different than the header file includes. Project. TextBuffer needs these things. Project that. CP. Can't include that. Blank. CP includes given writer. All right. Outputting text, outputting files. Test parser. Reload it. I did forget this thing here. This all works. Then we namespace things. Then we get the text buffer. That should just about do it. So we need that one line fix. File. Run it. Reload. TextBuffer needs these things. TextBuffer is defined here. Therefore, test. Oh, good to know. So we need stir copy and stirlen and mem copy, which is just C string. Found include C string. We just move that all the way to the tippy top here. That is just a generally useful thing in everything we're going to do. So it did build, and now in test CPP, I should be able to get maybe test parser. Oh well. We can cheat. We're gonna cheat real quick. Not header, not namespace. Right line. Class text buffer. I'm just gonna do that. Then in test.cpp, test parser, text buffer buff dot copy text. Hello world. Log note. Text buffer size, which is buff.2 size. All right, make everything again, start over, build. It is an incomplete type. Okay. So I'm allowed to be aware of it, but not to use it. Still, it is otherwise working. So VB object. Let me think about that. I would like to do a test. NS Dev, hello, welcome to the chat. How are you doing? Welcome back. We are just outputting code here. We have configuration file from which we extract regular expressions, convert them into NFAs, combine all the NFAs into a single NFA, use that to build a DFA, and now we're outputting all the files that we can, that are, this is the easy files. This is, I need a thing to read a file. I need a thing to iterate through the buffer quickly. So these are like shared between all parsers, but that's where we're at right now. But he wants to know all about this class. I don't want to let it know all about this class. I want to keep it hidden. I want to assume it works somewhat. And also, for this to really work, so this builds VV, runs it over our project file, and uses that to write out our own pair of files, which is now looking like vtestparser.cpp, which has some includes in it. Here's, we need CString, we need some things to open files. Then inside of a namespace, we create our first class called TextBuffer, which compiles, and it includes 3 different methods for loading the file. With 3 different methods to load the file, I can basically compile this file with 3 different compile flags and decide which file opening method we're going to use. We're going to make sure they all 3 work, but we are not going to performance test all 3 yet. And that's kind of a pattern we're going to do for a while. We're going to generate 2 or 3 different code outputs with different build flags available. And when those build flags, each one will be tested. But then at the end, when we've got a full tokenizer, then we'll get like a 1,000,000 line sample for it to tokenize, and we'll run with all the different flags and measure how much each flag makes a difference in our performance time. People don't measure stuff, they often guess, so we will measure, also because I'm interested. So it's working. And it compiles. So that's probably good enough for a win right now. Start, let's pull our journal. We've outputted TextBuffer. We are writing a TextBuffer to the VV XYZ thing parser namespace. It is not publicly facing. It's basically a copy paste of a class I've already used and written, so I'm not too worried about the testing. This text buffer is going to grow and become more complicated, like maintaining line numbers, but that will have to wait. Yeah, I think that's it. Its status, it had, we have to add all this, yeah. So, our journal, our to-do, our make files are all updated. Makefile got a new test rule so we can build our test project. VV project and VV project writing are now updated to start writing more and more stuff. This is our test file. It doesn't do much yet. Let me see. Do I want to do this? It's not pretty. Yeah, it actually worked. Then maybe this other code would have worked. Perfect. Test. We have to label our buffers so that we know what we're looking at later. And buffer pointer size is incorrect. It lives on the stack. Outside source builds debug test parser. It's hello world 12 bytes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Boom, tested. That makes me feel better actually. That is working. I'm not crashing. For testing, I included the BG thing parser, that's BG, in our main test CPP. Was able to declare a text buffer and load a string into the. There we go. Git status, git add, git commit. Now out obtain a text buffer. Woohoo! Not bad, not bad. Okay, where are we at? Where are we at? It is 5:30. And the next thing on my to-do list, well, first of all, I gotta put the notes under notes. I keep doing this. Okay, to do. Let's generate a character reference and a string reference. So in our tokenizer, we are not copying strings, ever. We've loaded the whole file into a buffer because a single file read can be very, very fast, especially for large files. Then we tokenize it, and all we're keeping track of are positions inside that file. There is no string copying. Now, when we get a token, normally we would have a string copy of whatever the token is, and a position in line, and a line number, and then a token ID and everything. With a character reference, we're just storing a couple more things and not the string itself. We're storing a byte offset from the buffer and a number of bytes and a character size. So this is going to be a much more efficient way, I think, to blow through our source files. String reference is literally just a character reference, but it records multiple strings, multiple characters worth of data. Context is where we're going to save our errors and our intermediate results as we go through the process. So next time we'll do char ref, string ref. Probably don't have time. That took an hour to get TextBuffer in. So maybe we call it there. It is Friday night. I've been working long. These are kind of copy-paste kinds of tasks. So we get those two done pretty quickly on next week as a nice, easy starting point while we ramp in. And then we'll have context, which we'll probably spend a couple of days on. So let's see here. If this is next week, these two, and we start context, this is public facing. We're hiding these. We are publicly facing that. And that is going to be the real fun, the meat and potatoes, really. So, I think that's the plan. I think we're not going to go for a half hour of this stuff. Well, we have some tech debt. Log level set by command parameter. That's something we could do in half an hour. That's something we could do in half an hour. Okay. So right now, log level is being determined here. If we're in a release mode, we'll accept everything down to a note level. If we're in debug mode, we accept everything. So what are my 3 log levels? Silent, which is never safe. You should never log nothing. But we'll have the option. So logging quiet Q log only errors. Only errors and warnings. Normal. Log normal messages. Verbose. Do we need this many log levels? Silent, quiet, normal. Okay. This is default. Which is not quite true. Silent, quiet, normal, verbose. Seems easy enough. Seems like enough options. Okay, so we're going to scrub through this. Search for dash dash, delete everything before that, quote. Search for this dash. Okay, now we have strings. Else if stir comp argv index this thing equals 0 or stir comp argv sub index this thing equals 0 We missed one. Okay. Then the easy part. Silent. I think we have a none. It's none. Quiet means warning. All the way up to the warning. Normal, we go to note. Here we go, all. There, I think that's done. Woohoo! 5 minutes. One last thing. We're gonna search for the first quote, search for the second quote, search for a quote, search for a quote twice. That there. We're searching. We're tend to check the single character first, then the longer one, in case this one is. Yeah, just for consistency with up here. Okay. Okay. Was that really necessary? Do we needed it? File it. We can run here. Might as well run this thing here. Dash verbose dash silent should output nothing. Quiet should be warnings and errors only, and normal and verbose. Okay, that is indicative enough that I've got it, so that's not too bad. Pretty cool. Yeah, easy peasy. Journal. Well, that did not take half an hour. Like I said, it's Friday, so log level now configurable. Poly. Command line parameters to VB. Oops, that's not a compilable thing. Get status. Oh, also the help. We should check the help. -H. Change that error message to get that help message just a tiny bit. Default. Yeah, seems to be working just fine. Added logging levels to the command line options. Okay, not bad. Thanks for joining the stream, folks. We are going to probably call it there. Anything else I want to do is probably going to take longer than the 20 minutes remaining to me. So next week, we will output our character reference 3 different versions. I think we can get away with 1 string reference, but we'll have to wait and see. And lastly, we will start outputting a context, which will contain all of our status and intermediate values as we go through the parsing process. This will be the first time I've written one in such an explicit manner. I think it's going to be very good. I've written 2 or 3 things, and that's kind of where I get the. That's where you start to see how the whole project has to come together. And I think this will be a very good way to do it. So, thanks for joining. Thanks for the chats. I'm going to take off and go grill some steaks. So, hopefully, everyone else has as wonderful an evening as I have planned, and have a wonderful weekend. Next Monday, we'll be back in game development mode. Have a good one. Bye-bye.